Good morning, it's Monday, and that means we do the whole news review and talk about some stuff that happened on the weekend, that kind of thing. We'll start with the Washington Capitals. The Capitals today announced they signed Phoenix Copley, their backup goalie, to a 3-year, $3.3 million contract. And, it's funny because looking at Copley, young goaltender, good numbers. Overall solid 3 years, 1.1 million per. All looks solid. To me, it makes the Koskinen extension look worse. And I hate to say that, but it just does. Because Copley has played relatively well. I'm not saying Koskinen hasn't. I'm just saying if you compare the two to one another, and one costs you more than 3 times as much, and is older. Anyhow, but yeah, so good move by the Caps. This is smart business all around, and the Capitals are good at what they're doing, and that's why they won the Stanley Cup this past June. Mackenzie Blackwood's in the minors. I know there are Devils fans who may be upset about that because Blackwood's playing well. I take a more cynical approach to it. I have a more cynical view. I have like a Buffalo view of it. Remember last year, Buffalo's having a poor season. Olmark comes up, plays like a game. They send him back down. Goalie played a few games. They sent him back down. And the marketing of it was this. Look, we're not going to make it this year. Goalie is part of our future. He's going to be a great defenseman, which I think... and Olmark is going to come up next year, and he's going to be this great guy. But next year's the year, and I get the feeling New Jersey's doing the same. So Corey Schneider comes back up, Mackenzie Blackwood goes down. I think they're well aware that Schneider's not playing as well. Schneider's AHL numbers weren't very good either. So Schneider comes back in, but the other problem is they want to get rid of Schneider. How are you going to get rid of Corey Schneider when he's putting up mediocre numbers in the AHL? You might as well give him a couple starts in the NHL. If he can win a couple of games, lightning in a bottle, you can agree to retain some salary. In a magical world, who knows? Maybe somebody takes a flyer on Schneider and gives him a shot at it. It's unlikely, but I honestly think the tank is on. I think the New Jersey Devils want their best chance to draft Jack Hughes. And if Mackenzie Blackwood's in there and he's winning games here, winning games there, and they start moving up the standings, so they go from 30th, 31st, instead they're 27th or 26th, their odds of winning the lottery drop. So they're just going for the best odds. That's how I see it. Remy Ely cleared waivers and heads to the American League, and of course this happens to a lot of players. Ely's a surprising one to me only because, not that long ago it looked like he had a bright NHL future with the Dallas Stars. Ends up in Buffalo, and now he's in the AHL. So it shows that you can go from prospect to suspect very, very quickly in this league. And Ely was a guy who had, I think, 1 assist in 16 games with Buffalo. Aberg's on the injured reserve for Minnesota. 5 games into his time in Minnesota with 3 assists. Aberg finds himself in the injured reserve. Luke Cunning's been recalled, and Kyle Rao has been recalled because yesterday they put JT Brown and Nate Prosser on waivers. So, and at the time I'm recording this, I haven't heard if either of them got claimed on waivers. I honestly would be surprised if either of them did, but JT Brown's played enough games in the NHL that I think he could probably get another chance. Somebody somewhere goes, yeah, we can use him as a 13th forward or 4th line forward, so we'll see. I wanted to talk a bit about Sebastian Aho today because he hit 60 points last year. Yesterday he hit 60 points. And when you look at his totals from last year and the year before, it's really impressive how quickly this kid's come along. His first year, he scored 24 goals, 25 assists in 82 games. I was so darned impressed with his game that the year after, when it was predicted by a couple of hockey magazines that I get yearbooks for every year, that his point totals would drop in year 2, I was like, no. And that's betting on the sophomore jinx. Last year, instead of dropping, they went to 29 goals, 36 assists, 65 points. And he had a slow start last year and still ended up with 65 points. This year, 24 goals, 36 assists, 60 points in 52 games. So in 26 less games, he has the same number of assists. He's only 5 goals short of last year, which means he's 5 points short of last year. He's going to obliterate his career highs. And Carolina's got themselves a franchise-level guy for quite a while to come. I've been looking this morning. There's no update on Paul Byron. He left yesterday's game for the Habs with some kind of upper body injury, and I haven't seen anything on how long he's out, if he's going to miss the next game, or what's going to happen. I know he left yesterday's game. I wanted to talk a bit about the Leafs because Tyler Ennis is skating right now. And Ennis might be getting close. Ennis in 33 games this year has 7 goals and 4 assists. William Nylander in 23 games has a goal and 6 assists. Now, what's interesting is I've heard people saying, well, Nylander's not getting the right amount of ice time. He's not really getting much of a chance. So I put the ice time on the board. You'll notice Nylander has 7 points. One of them is a goal in 23 games with 14:48 of ice time. Tyler Ennis has 11 points in 33 games, 7 goals with 10 minutes and 8 seconds of ice time. So there could be an interesting lineup decision Mike Babcock has to make when Tyler Ennis is good to go. Hey, Babcock's in this to win. And, no matter what promises have been made to Nylander at the time of him signing a contract, one promise was not, hey, we'll leave you in the lineup no matter how much you're struggling, and we'll leave guys out that are scoring at a better clip with less time played. So that could be a very interesting situation when Ennis comes back, because he's a winger, and you always move guys around, and again, they were playing just fine earlier this year when Nylander was holding out. So I think the Toronto thing is going to get more interesting down the stretch into the playoffs. And I wanted to finish off with this. Sportsnet today talks about how they think the Canucks have become buyers. And then there's talk about, they were expected to be sellers. I don't think they're either. A recent interview with Jim Benning basically hinted they're not moving a draft pick, and B, they don't view themselves as buyers either. Look, you're not going to sell off future assets for a run this year, because this is not the year. If they make the playoffs, they'll do backflips, but this is not the year. So you don't want to be selling the farm right now when you're not close. I don't expect them to be sellers or buyers, which means that Chris Tanev trade rumors likely continue for the next year. When his contract's up next year, he may go as a rental then. But I don't think Tanev's trade value now is where it was a couple of years ago. Edler could go as a rental, but he's made it clear he wants to stay in Vancouver. And Jim Benning's made it clear he would like to keep Edler on in Vancouver as well. So I don't think anything's going to happen there. But let me know what you guys think in the comment section below, as always. And now that I've done a video on news of the day, more news will be reported over the next couple of hours, which would have filled this board up nicely. But that's kind of how things work. I have to balance when I upload with all of that other stuff and make sure that it's uploaded early enough that it's going to be worth me uploading the video. So there you go. Thank you guys so much for watching. Thank you for all your support. Greatly appreciated. And since it's Monday, we're getting so much closer to the trade deadline. I'm kind of nerdily excited because we're 3 weeks out, exactly 3 weeks from today. So very excited for that. Yes, there will be a live stream on deadline day. Yes, it's going to be awesome, and I'm looking forward to it. Thank you guys so much for watching. I'll talk to you again soon.